So yeah, people, welcome back, and thanks, Alex, for joining me.
Of course.
But yeah, Alex, can you tell me more about yourself? What exactly you do? Where you're from?
Yeah, so I'm Alex. I'm the co-founder at ColdIQ. I'm originally from Belgium. I've been living a bit everywhere. I was living in Germany for 5 years, moved to Barcelona early 2024, and now I'm like in beautiful Bali in Uluwatu. So I'm the co-founder at ColdIQ. So to not make it too complex, we started as an outbound agency. So we help B2B companies with lead gen. And now we also have a coaching program where we teach participants how to scale their businesses using AI outbound. So the service we actually do inside of our agency.
That's awesome, man. Like, so you have traveled the world, built an amazing company. And yeah, if I can ask you how much your company makes like a month, I think that's also when you told me, like, I was like, wow, this man is doing his thing, you know?
Yeah, so January was actually the best month ever in the business. We've been extremely lucky. In January 2024, we're just me and my co-founder making about 25K per month with just the two of us. And January this year, so January 2025, we made around 300K in revenue.
That's crazy, man. Like, such a growth in this like short amount of time. And you're just like 29 years old, right?
Correct.
That's awesome. So you're 29 years old, you have traveled all the world, you have built your company like to 300K. You know, so what advice you can give like to, let's say, younger men, like to be in your position, like let's say 3 things that has helped you to get to this position where you are at right now?
First, I would say focus, like pick one thing and try to stick to it for long enough. Like I think the worst thing you can do now is that there is so many businesses, there is so many ways to make money online. And typically when you see people not being successful is because they just do niche hopping. Like they're gonna try e-com, they're gonna go to agency, then they're gonna do coaching, they try to do a little bit of everything, but they don't like take enough time to actually become amazing at one thing. And so I would say focus, like you reap a lot of benefits from staying in one industry for long enough. Like you get the right connections, you get access to the right people, and you get knowledge that most people don't have. Because now information is like available everywhere. Like everyone can go tomorrow and look how to start a lead gen agency. Like there is so much content, but actually staying in the industry so long just bring you so much more like advantages. Like I know the right people, I know like the right people to hire, the right people to connect for some specific problem. So I would say stay focused, pick one thing that you truly like, and like make a commitment to yourself that you stick to that one thing for at least a year. And there is always amazing things that happen if you really stick to that one thing. Second thing is consistency. Like every single person that is successful that I know, they all got there because they did something repeatedly. Like I don't know anyone that makes like any sensible amount of money with like an overnight success. Like everyone that's like making big on social media and business is just someone that's capable of like putting the rep one after the other. And so for us it was the same. Like most of our lead gen comes from LinkedIn. My co-founder posted more than 300 times. I posted exactly 294 times. And now we get a lot of leads from LinkedIn, but the beginning are hard. Like the first 30 posts, no one gave a fuck. I had to like send my post on WhatsApp to all my friends, to my family, being like, please give me 1 like so like my post doesn't engage with it, like so it doesn't flop too much. And now it's like looking from the outside, I have a lot of people like, oh wow, like it seems so easy on LinkedIn. Every one of your posts is like crushing it, at least like 10,000 impressions, at least 100 likes, but it hasn't always been like this. And so put the reps in, like if it's TikTok, if it's Instagram, if it's YouTube, if it's LinkedIn, pick one platform and just like stay consistent. In business, on social media, and in fitness as well. I think it just works for every aspect of life. And
how much leads you generate, like let's say on LinkedIn organically, like by posting consistently?
Yeah, so we have the exact number. So for 2024, we generated more than 1,100 leads just from LinkedIn. And now on a weekly basis, we're like in a bit of a specific situation in the sense that it's not only me. Like we really incentivize the entire company. So everyone at ColdIQ has an incentive to post as much as possible on LinkedIn. So we actually pay the person that has posted the most per quarter. They get cash bonus at the end of the quarter if they've been very consistent. So for us, we know that LinkedIn brings a ton of leads. So we really encourage every single employee to develop their personal brand. But for the company, all in all, we book on average 20 calls per week, just from LinkedIn, pure organic.
Nice.
So there was focus, consistency, and last one, I would probably say like network. Like it might sound a bit corny, but you also go much faster when you're like connected with the right people. Like I really saw that once the business started to make like a bit more money, we've always been very open about spending more money into like coaching, like getting to know like more people that are a bit ahead of us. So it's the same here. So we're actually at the masterminds learning about like content. Like we're learning from Louis. That's like much ahead of us when it comes to creating good content. And so I think for us since the beginning, I've always invested in like a LinkedIn coach, and then we had like a coach who scaled the agency. Then we had like a productivity coach. Now I'm like working with Lou also for like Insta content. So I think it's like never be afraid to spend more to earn more. Like I think when you start a business, everyone is like very conservative in the way to spend money. Exactly. It's like they want to save a lot. Yeah. And I think it's great at the beginning. It's almost like you need to be extremely stingy on money for like your first 25k, but once you start making some profits, rather than just like splurge it on like some random things, always invest in yourself, invest in knowledge, invest in a better network, because once you have worked with someone, you have direct access to them, and it can really fast track on any topic. You're just gonna learn much faster if you had to learn it by yourself, like watching YouTube videos. So
sure. Yeah, thanks for sharing, man. Like those are definitely strong points, and 100% agree. Like the first one as well, like being disciplined and focus on your own thing, right? I think you like many times, probably also in your business and in my business, you work, and then in one moment you find this thing, or friends are doing this thing, and you want to also hop on it, But I think it's so important to stay disciplined, focus on one thing, go extra mile, and then just results will show up, and with the consistency. And yeah, the third thing as well, there are so many people who are like afraid to invest in themselves, thinking that it's not gonna work out. But I think even if you invest money and get one thing, one thing from that like course or mentor, it's just gonna help you like to grow. Like in my case as well, like I invested in like my grandma's money that she was like saving, like I didn't have any money. Like I took my grandma's money that she was saving for me. Like I invested in my first course, and learned so much things, and that opened my mind. So yeah, take as well risks. I think taking risks as well is a huge one. But yeah, then touching on a third point, like why are you here today? Like because you make 300k a month, like you can just, I think, live comfortably. The money, I think, is not the issue. So what else are you chasing?
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the first time you make money, you think that's like the end destination. Like first time you like make your first 10k online, you're like, okay, it's done, I've made it. But then it gets very like it gets very addictive. It's like then you go to the next milestone. It's like, oh, now I make 25k per month, and then it's like 50, and it's like 100. Even before 100, you have like 83k per month, because that's like the 1 million a year. Yeah. So for us, I think that was actually the biggest. 83. Like 83 was actually the biggest milestone, because like fuck, like this is literally $1 million a year online. Like it felt the most like unreal moment. And I think last year I really went through phases where we started to make really good money. We started to travel more. We could like go eat out whenever we wanted. Like we were like partying. We're going to Mykonos, and I think I did that for like the entire summer in 2024. And at the end of the summer, I kind of realized I was like, there is more to life than just this. Like just like partying and like getting tables in clubs. I think you need to do it once to be like, okay, I get it out of my system. But after that, I was like, this one makes me happy long term. I'm happy I did it. I went through it, but what I realized is that it's actually the feeling of progression that actually makes me happy. It's like seeing that like the business is growing, we have more and more employees, my brand is growing, like we start to have like a bigger and bigger impact. And that's why I don't want to stop now, where it's like we could be chill, we could be like relaxing on the beach in Bali, but I actually find it much more fulfilling to keep growing. And so 2024 for me was really the year where I really wanted to learn to be a great entrepreneur, and I still have so many things to learn, but I think we grew the business to a great level in a very short amount of time. And for me, 2025 is the year where I become a content creator. Because I really believe that for the next decades, the people that are going to be like very successful, they are going to be at the intersection between entrepreneur and content creator. And usually people are like one or the other, and so that's why you have a lot of like content creators that have no idea how to monetize, and then you're gonna have entrepreneurs that have no idea on how to build an audience. But if you can be at the intersection of both and being a great entrepreneur and a great content creator, I think the opportunities are endless. And so that's really what I invest in. Right now I'm also in a very luxurious position in the sense that we hire a lot of very smart people to take care of like the different parts of the business. So I'm able to free up some of my time, and that free time I really want to invest it. It's like YouTube and starting from scratch. Is like, what is a good thumbnail? What is storytelling? Camera presence? Like all those skills. That's also very exciting because they are very like reusable in other areas of life. It's like once you start to grow your brand, you get invited to do like a public speaking event. So it's like, when I learn to speak in front of a camera, that's also very useful if I need to speak on a stage. And it just feels great to feel that like you are progressing. It's like money for me is a byproduct of the person you become. And I just want to become like a better and better person. And I think that money will follow automatically.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, and like all the entrepreneurs I have talked, who make like 6 figures a year, they are all the same, because I think you make 20, 30K a month, like you can almost do anything, right? And after that it's just numbers game. So I think entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs are like obsessed of becoming just the best versions of themselves, like really focusing on their skills, their craft, becoming the best versions of themselves. And I think once you focus on those things, like just money flows naturally, right?
Completely.
And so like you're good with hiring, and I think especially in fitness industry, like, you start like a solo entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I think many like these fitness coaches are holding back because they are afraid of hiring. So what advice do you have for like, let's say those coaches who are kind of like solo entrepreneurs and they are like maybe afraid or they don't know how to hire? So like what are some actionable steps they can do?
Yeah. For me, that's one of the hidden benefits of doing content and posting as much as possible, developing your personal brand, because for us, literally 100% of the best employees we have at Cold IQ, they all came from following us and consuming our content. Like all the people that have like a leadership position in the company, they all came from like a cold message on LinkedIn. Like I always take the example of Dan. Is like the smartest person in the business. He was 24 at the time, like a bit unhappy in his job. And then one day I received a DM on LinkedIn and he was like, "Hey Alex, I really love your content and the content of Mish being my co-founder. I've been following you guys for 6 months. I really want to like go and chase freedom. I want to launch my own agency. Can I work for you for free for 3 months? And then I will launch my own thing." And they were like, "Oh yeah, sure, like let's try it out." And after the 3 months, he ended up being so good that we decided to give him like a part of the business because he was just like so irreplaceable. And since then, every single top talents we have hired, they all came from like, I wouldn't say a community because we have followers on LinkedIn, but they came from kind of like our ecosystem. It's people that have been in contact, like in touch with us. They've been consuming content, so they have a very high degree of understanding of what we do. They know who we are. They know a bit of personality through the content we're posting. And so that's always my first advice: is like, put yourself out there. You're automatically gonna like attract a crowd around you and try to poach people from that crowd. So if you're like a fitness coach, make great content. I'm sure there is a lot of like great other fitness coach following you that maybe don't want to start their own business because there is so many things you need to take care of when you have your own business, and try to get someone from your community rather than like posting a LinkedIn job somewhere. We're gonna have hundreds of randoms, a lot of randos applying.
Don't know you, right?
They don't know you, they don't know your business, they might not even know your industry. So I think it's always like for you on Insta, it's like you make a story, you're like creating a type form, and I'm sure there is people following you, watching your story that would actually like apply to join you. So yeah, that's for me my best advice. Try to get someone that's already know you, that's already part of your community.
Nice. Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, for fitness coaches maybe a bit like generic, but definitely for B2B, you can even take some clients from your like own program, the successful program. Yeah. I have seen like many coaches do that. Like they like implement like the successful like students into their business, and because they know you, they trust you, like it's so easier like to scale. And Alex, like, why are you in mastermind today? Like, last question for you, like, what exactly you are like here to learn, or what are you looking to like answer, you know, from your, like, let's say, your goals or your next level? What is that, what you're looking here?
Yeah. Yeah, in life I always want to learn from people ahead of me, and I think here it's like an amazing situation to be in. Is like all the other participants are like further than me when it comes to creating content on Insta. Like Louis is just like killing it. He has been doing like content for 7 years, and so for me I always use money as a way to fast track learning. And I think learning in person from like people that have done the things is just the fastest way to learn. It's like I could watch tons of YouTube videos on like how to grow on Instagram, how to create content, how to set up a camera, but it's like right now I don't have time and I start to have money, and so usually I want to use money to fast track my learnings. And I think in-person mastermind like the one we're attending right now is just the best like capital allocation for me. It's just like a lot of super smart people. There is a certain like barrier to entry because it costs a certain amount of money to participate in that weekend. So if people are very committed, that already have a business, and I feel that I can learn from everyone. And so already yesterday was like a super insightful day where I've had the entrepreneur parts, and right now I can just like learn from other content creators. There's just like cameras all around. Everyone is recording. Everyone is like documenting what they are doing. So for me, it's very inspiring, and yeah, very excited to learn about this.
Nice. So what was the biggest maybe takeaway from yesterday? What did you learn?
For me, it's just like documenting every single thing that you do. Like when I started posting on LinkedIn, it's kind of like a 30 minutes daily activity where I kind of go in front of my computer, start writing a post, but then the rest of the time I'm not really documenting what I do, right? It's like I'm just working. And when I see Louis, he's just constantly recording what he does. Like he has always a camera, he set it up there, he's gonna have a conversation. Even like your idea right now is like we're having breakfast, you're like, hey, let's have a chat, let's record it. I think I need to get into that habit of just like documenting whatever I do. And I think I had that wrong assumption that like I look at my life from the outside, I'm like, yeah, most of my day I'm spent working, but I think there is a way to turn that around and to actually make it enjoyable for people to watch, to see what is like the real life of like an entrepreneur working in Bali. And so the main takeaway is just document more, like record more. So I love the DJI that I just bought because I've had like super fancy cameras because we started the course last year. So we invested around like 20K in like a studio. So we have the best light, we have the best cameras, but I wasn't expecting it to be so complex to set up. And when you start with content, I think it should be seamless. Like you should really remove any friction. Like when you have complex camera, it's like it's very difficult, and that's a great thing with DJI. It's like put it in your pocket, flip it, start recording. And at the end of the day, people don't care that much if it's like recorded with like a FX30 or with a DJI. People care about the story, people care about the content, but the quality of the video, that's something I can optimize later. So it's like, yeah, main takeaways, the gear don't matter that much, and document more.
Nice, bro. Perfect, man.
Thanks,
Good one.
appreciate it.